Hello everyone out there in Flosstube land and YouTube land. My name is Carrie and I am known as the Lone Star Cross Stitcher. I'd like to welcome everyone to my channel. If you're new, thank you for stopping by. I hope you like what you see, and if you do, hit the subscribe button and then you'll be notified when I put out new ones. For those of you that are returning, I'd like to say thank you for coming back. Thank you for all of your sweet comments and your subscriptions. It's very heartwarming to know that I'm just not talking to myself out here. Today is Monday, July 20th, and I know it's been about a month since my last video. I keep changing up how often I'm going to do these things. And I do apologize for confusing you, but I am going to now, for today, for this time, say that I will be doing a video about once a month. I was finding that when I was doing it once a week or once every other week, that the videos were only about 30 minutes. And I know a lot of you, along with me, prefer to have a little bit longer videos so you're not having to switch out and change videos all the time. If you're like me, you'd like to stitch while you're watching, and so having longer videos makes it less distracting from your stitching. So I hope you enjoy this video. Sit back and relax, and let's get started. Like I said, it's been about a month since my last video, and I have one finished. Yay! And I told you last time I was doing a piece for a stitching exchange for a local Facebook group, and I finished it and framed it and mailed it off. And so the piece is called America. Sorry about that. Anyway, here's the picture of the piece. I did the large square. This camera, everything's backwards, so please forgive me for messing this around. But anyway, I did the larger piece, and if I can figure out how to insert a picture, I will insert a picture of the finished product. I used just a simple blue kind of distressed frame to go with it, and my recipient said that he loved it, so that was a success. That's really the only thing I have finished in the last probably 2 months. So I've done a lot of stitching, but just haven't finished anything, which I'm sure none of you can relate to, right? Okay, the whips that I mentioned in my last video, the first one is Not All of Us. It's a Lizzie Kate piece that I did work on. This is the picture of it. It says, not all of us can do great things, but we can do great things with not all of us can do great things, but we can do small things with great joy. And here's where I am today. I had the little yellow, everything's backwards on this thing. I had that, and I had the word but finished the last time. So I have done we can do, I did the flower, and I did the word great. So this is a fun little stitch, and I really like the whole saying, the whole idea. I think this came from Mother Teresa, but I'm not really sure. The details on this, it is a 32 count flax Belfast linen, and I'm using the recommended DMC colors. Next up is Seeking Refuge. I did get a lot, I did get a lot done on it. Here's the picture. It's by the Scarlet House. And I'm doing this on 28 count Lugana in sand by Picture This Plus, and I'm using the recommended specialty flosses. Here's where I am today. finished the right side of the house, which I think is over there. I think it's this piece, but I did all the windows and all the bricks. So the house itself is done, and if I'm feeling ambitious, I'll work on the roof, but it's all black, so I may do that and then skip and do some of the other stuff as well. Next up, I mentioned last month that I do stitching for a charity called the Angel Quilt Project, and so I started a piece for that. It's called, what is it called? Petal and Bear, and it's from a book by Alma Lynn. It's called The Bear Crossing. This is a really old book, vintage, I believe some of you might say, but it's got a bunch of little teddy bear pieces, and so I'm going to be actually doing several pieces from this book for that quilt project, and I'll show you those later. But here's where I am today on Petal and Bear. Isn't that cute? And I hope to have that finished soon. Next, I worked on mason jar lineup. It's a dimensions kit, an old one that I found, where did I find this? About last year or the year before. I think I found it on eBay. But here's what it looks like. I've seen other people do it, and I saw somebody post on Facebook, and it's like, I have to have that. So it was rather expensive, but you know what? It's my only vice. I don't drink and I don't smoke, so this is my vice. And I believe it's Barbara's daughter who has a YouTube channel, and she said she was doing a portion of that. I'm not sure exactly, but she was doing like a small piece of it. So here's where I am today. It's kind of time consuming because there's a lot of blended threads. It's like 2 threads, one of each color that you put together, and but it ends up looking really, really pretty, I think. And the piece that I worked on before was actually this part right here. So this is going to be a long-term project, I can tell. And again, partly because it's a little complicated, but it's one of those things that I can only work on it for so long, and then I get a little bored with it. Anyway, that's mason jar lineup. So next I have it's a kit by Vervaco. I think that's how you say it, Vervaco. It's Simply Jesus, and it's a picture of his face. Oh, sorry, didn't mean to put all that in front of you, but here's the picture. See if I can get that without any glare on it. And yes, there are a lot of dark colors, and there's also some light colors, because this part right here is all stitched. This is all stitched. The entire thing is stitched. So here's where I am today. I use these little quilt clips. I apologize, I'm still getting used to the backwardness of the camera. But I bought these on sale on, I believe, Amazon. There was a whole little tin of them. You get like 100 for like $10, and they're really cool. You can clip your fabric like that. You can basically for anything. They're called quilting clips. Say that 3 times fast. But anyway, they've been a godsend. I have certainly not used all 100 of them, but they come in different colors too, so you can actually color coordinate your chart if you want. Anyway, here is where I am. And I might have shown you this on one of my first videos, but since I did, I have done all of this light colors, and probably from about here up all of this dark stuff. me see, I've got the color card. It was a really nice kit. It came with fabric and it came with the threads already sorted on this cool little card. So this is the color. They're not labeled as DMC colors, but the symbols are really easy to follow. But see, there's like 3 shades of white and cream, and then you get into the darker, and there's like brown, medium brown, dark brown, and then of course the inevitable black. So it's slow stitching because I have to keep up with the colors and the symbols so that the shading will come out right. You know, it's not like, oh well, I'll just, you know, make this line a different color and it won't work because of all the shading on it. So, but I just love this piece. It's been in my stash for a while, and it's one of those that, yeah, I'm only going to work on a short period of time because it's so, excuse me, it's so intense, but it's a pleasure to stitch, and I'm really looking forward to finishing it someday. My next project is called Hope Quaker Style. I think I've shown this to you before. It's by Ori TM. I hope I'm saying that right. And here's what it looks like. This was one of those, I think I told you about this in one of my first videos, that I've never really been interested in the Quaker style, but I saw this at my LNS and it just kind of spoke to me. And it said, why don't we try something different? Step out of your comfort zone a little bit and do something different, because I was in kind of a rut there for a while. So I did, and the fact that it does say hope on it is really appropriate and very meaningful for me in this current situation that we're all in the world. And it does provide hope with the little butterfly and the birds that, you know, this is not the end of the world. This too shall pass someday. So anyway, I'm using the recommended specialty floss. I apologize, I don't have the list with me. It's 8 skeins of onyx, which is like the equivalent of DMC black, and then a few other shading colors along the way, but here's where I am today. It's kind of a fun stitch in that it's not real complicated. It's all the same color, so I don't really have to think about color changes so much. I just have to follow the diagram and stitch where it says to stitch. So I'm enjoying it, and again, it's really out of my comfort zone, but I'm finding that I do like this Quaker style. And I've watched other Flosstube videos with other Quaker style pieces in them, and some of them I like and some of them I don't, and that's okay. So that is, let me look at my notes. That are all my whips that I have either mentioned in videos or worked on since the last time we got together. I live alone, and because we're all kind of locked down and quarantined and everybody's afraid to go out and talk to people, I don't talk to anybody very much. So I have to have a cup of water nearby whenever I do talk. So, all right, so what's next on the agenda? Plans. Okay. I mentioned I'm working on the Angel Quilt project, and I'm going to be doing some of the Alma Lynn bears. So let me get those and show them to you. Okay. Hopefully, my eye doctor has said that I will probably need cataract surgery in about a year, and I'm hoping, at least on my right eye. I think this is right. And hopefully that'll clear up some of my vision issues. I know it has for my mom and other people, so hopefully I can get rid of these one day. We'll see. Anyway, the first one I'm going to do is called Little Bearable, and this one is just adorable. It's right here. It's a little bear. I'm sorry, I'm probably making you all motion sick, but it's a little bear in a baby carriage. The next one I'm going to do is Bear Bow the Clown. I've done this one before, But in the chaos, that's my craft room. I can't find it, but this is what I'm going to be doing. It's a little clown. It's pretty easy. It's not a lot of colors, and it was fun to stitch. I actually stitched on this and worked on it when I was on vacation in a state park in Arkansas last summer. So cross stitching in the lobby of a state park lodge gets some attention, so you get to meet people that way and have some nice conversations. Most of them start out with, "Oh, I could never do that," and "Oh, that's so pretty," and "How can you see to do that?" And my answer to that last question is, I wear magnifying glasses. So, this pair is sentimental to me. It's the first pair I bought when I first started stitching back in 1993, 94, and so they've been with me ever since. And then the third one that I'm going to do, I'm not really planning on getting all of these done, but just kind of organized. I got them all kitted up. So the last one I'm going to do is called Rolling Bear, and it is this one right here. There's a lot of bears on bicycles, which I think would be cute for babies, and hopefully they'll keep the quilt and can use them when they're toddlers. So, and then this is the book. It's called The Bear Crossing, and it's got a lot of cute little pictures in there. None of these are really very big. I mean, they'll fit quite nicely on a 12 by 12 square, which is what the Angel Quilt project requires, and I can probably get 2 of them on there if I work it right. But aren't these cute? I just love teddy bears. Okay, so that's it for my plans. I'm not really paying much attention to the stitching challenges like I did the first part of this year. Several Facebook groups have challenges and stitch-alongs and stuff, and I really thought I'd get into those and it would help me motivate and help me keep track of things. And I found out, especially over the last 6-8 weeks, that I don't really want all of that discipline and structure in my stitching life. So I've kind of put all of those aside. I've actually unfollowed a couple of groups. But for me, what I used to do before I found Facebook and all these groups and challenges was I had a weekly rotation where I would do one project for a week. And that's what I enjoy, is working on a piece for 3 or 4 days, because that way I can get everything set out, get everything around me set up, and stitch, and then work on it for 3 or 4 days or until I get to a stopping point, and then switch. And I usually switched on Monday, because that way Sundays I usually stitched all afternoon after I got home from church and had some lunch, and I would switch on Monday. And so I had kind of a loose rotation that the first week I would work on a big project, usually one of my year-long projects or a full coverage piece. Second week I would work on a medium-sized project, and third week I would work on a small project, either an ornament or just a small little piece. And then the fourth week I could kind of do whatever I wanted to do, either go back to one of those or do something different. So that's just the way I work, and I think I may go back to that. I like having some organization to my stitching. Some people just kind of say, well, I just stitch on what I want to or what I feel like in the morning. And I tried that, where every day I did something different. There was one time last year where one of the groups I was in did like 19 and 19, and you had to work on a different piece 19 days in a row. And I found that by the time I got the piece out, got it unkitted, spread out on my couch, and stitched, and then I had to put it up, and then the next day start all over again. I was feeling a little frazzled and kind of disconnected, so I stopped doing that. So those of you that do it, that more power to you. I think that's awesome. I do want to say that this video and this channel is a judgment-free zone. I think it's Planet Fitness Gym that has that as their logo motto. No judgment here, so you do you, and do whatever makes you comfortable and happy and gets you to stitch. And cool, keep on stitching. So I have acquired a few things since our last video on a stash unload group. My first things, if I get my chair over here, where'd they go? Oh, are the, it's a Mill Hill limited series of National Park Santas. And I love our national parks. I love Texas state parks. And I think I mentioned in the beginning that one of my goals is to visit all of the national parks in the continental United States. Although if they keep shutting things down, that may not happen. But anyway, here's what I bought. This is Yosemite Santa. Oop, where? Let me see here. Yeah, isn't that cute? And these are, again, stepping out of my comfort zone because I've never done a Mill Hill kit before. I can hear the shots of amazement. You've never done a Mill Hill kit. But no, I haven't. I'm gradually expanding my vocabulary and my sphere of experiences, and so this will be one of those. The next one is Grand Canyon Santa. I have been to the Grand Canyon, so this will mean a lot to me. But he's so cute. I'm not sure quite yet how his little beard is stitched, because it looks like it's, you know, loopy threads, not just plain old cross stitch. But we'll see when we open it up, won't we? And then the third one is Yellowstone Santa. I'm sorry, I'm facing the window, so I'm getting some afternoon glare. But and I've been to Yellowstone also, so this is cool. And I'm a little disappointed that there's only 3 of these in the series. I was hoping that they would do all of the parks, but then I realized that there are currently 61 national parks in the United States, in all 50 states. So somebody would have to sit there a long time and design all of them. Some of them are large, like Yellowstone and Grand Canyon, and some are small. So, you know, I guess it's just a pipe dream, but that would be really, really cool. Maybe I'll take a look when I go visit them and see if they have some kind of commemorative cross-stitch piece or something to do in the gift. I'm sorry, my mouth is not working. In the gift shops. Okay. A friend of mine who stitches gave me a really sweet present the other day. She bought and gifted me a Garan project bag with dogs on it. Isn't that just the cutest thing you've ever seen? I have had a dog sitting business up until this pandemic started and all my clients quit traveling. But I love dogs just in general. But isn't this adorable? And she was so sweet to just gift it to me. And let's see, it's got the Velcro fastener. And then on the inside it's bones. It's doggy bones. Isn't that just the cutest thing? I am definitely going to have to investigate Garon's industry and project bags. This is adorable. It looks very well made. I don't think it's quilted, but it's pretty thick. So, thank you, Janet, and thank you, Garan. And then last but not least, I have fabric. I think I've told you I belong to the Picture This Plus Fabric of the Month Club. I signed up for their, I guess it's neutrals set. And these are ones that I've gotten over since my last video. This is Mesa. It's a kind of an orangey, oh, the blue's coming out there. Blue kind of fabric. Let's see what this side looks like. It's very subtle. In fact, I didn't see the blue until I put it on camera. So the blue is very subtle, but it's kind of a peachy color. Mesa, duh. It's like some of the mesas I've seen out west. And then this is quartz. And these are all, I ordered the 28 Lugana in a fat quarter, the 18 by 27, because it seems like that's what most of my pieces end up being, about that size. And here we have this. It's looking a little more green. Maybe that blue on the other one was just for the camera. Can you see that? This is the other side. But the modeling is, it's a lot more subtle than what is shown here. But it's, again, kind of a peachy, orangey color. And then I got my latest piece of fabric today. And we get to see it together. So I opened the shipping thing, but I don't know what this is, so we'll see it together. This is doubloon, and I think I've heard some of you say that you have used this color before, and oh, it's looking good. So, pardon the crinkles. It's kind of a brownish, tannish color. And it's looking blue for some reason. I guess, let me see if I can get it close up. It's looking more green than it really is. But it's a pretty brownish. Yeah, it's, for some reason it's showing up more green, but it's not green, it's brown. Like gold doubloons, I guess, in the old days. And so that's the fabric that I have. Now I just have to figure out something to stitch on it. I had seen somebody post this on Facebook about how to store your fabrics, and they had suggested getting a hanging pants hanger. That's really funny. And I have used these for my own clothing for pants, and then there's one for, you can use this for skirts as well, for anybody that still wears skirts. Anyway, this is what I got. And so you can clip the fabric on here to help it hang out. I've got to iron and steam the wrinkles out, but once I do that, this is going in my craft room closet. So, and it holds 1, 2, 3, 4, each thing holds 6. And I got this from Amazon, and it came in a 2-piece kit, so you get enough to hang 12 whatevers that you want to hang. And it really wasn't that expensive. So just an idea if you're looking for some way to hang your fabric if you don't want to leave it folded up. And I've also heard that you're not supposed to do that because the wrinkles or the folds may not come out. So I'm going to get on that tomorrow and iron everything out. So that's it for the stitching part. Well, it looks like even though I thought I talked a lot, it's still at 28 minutes. So I don't know how some of you do it with your hour-long videos. I guess you stitch a lot more than I do. I don't know. I'm not going to worry about it. But looks like mine are going to be about 30 minutes long. So anyway, next I'll be talking a little bit about some life updates. I know not all of you want to listen to that, and that's perfectly all right. Again, no judgment here. So if you just want to skip the life updates, I will bid you a fond farewell, and thank you again for watching. Feel free to comment below, subscribe if you like, so don't subscribe if you don't, that's okay with me. I hope you have a wonderful stitchy week / month, and I guess I'll talk to you next time. So for those of you that are interested, here's what's been going on in my life since we last talked. I've been having, since my last video, I've been having some personal issues with things going on in my life, emotionally and mentally, and I won't go into detail, but I've been kind of depressed and not feeling real well mentally or emotionally, and so I've started seeing a counselor again. I saw him the first part of this year, and we talked through several issues that I was having, and things have changed, and I've got other things to talk about, but You know, mental illness and things like depression are not a stigma. They're not bad things. They just happen. We have our physical health. We have our mental health. We have our emotional health. And we have our spiritual health and health. And it is perfectly all right to ask for help if you need it. And so I did reach out. He is a Christian counselor and recommended by my pastor's wife. And we are making some progress. So I encourage you, any of you that are feeling depressed or disconnected or having any kind of issues like that, don't be afraid, don't be scared. Reach out for help, whether it's to your church, whether it's to a counselor, whether it's to a doctor. I'm not at the point I need medication yet, but there's nothing wrong if you do. Because a lot of times, I learned this years ago, a lot of times depression can be caused by a chemical imbalance in your body. And your physical health does affect your mental and emotional health as well. So if you're having issues, I mean, even if it's just one visit or a phone call, you know, don't be afraid to reach out for help. So, and if you want to reach out to me, please do so. You can either comment below or private message me, or I don't think I've given you my email address yet. I will put that below, and feel free to reach out to me, and I will see what I can do to help. I do not reveal secrets. I'm like Las Vegas. What happens with me stays with me. Anyway, my physical health hasn't been that good either. First part of June, I was having trouble with my ankle, and so I finally broke down and went to a podiatrist, and he diagnosed me with tendonitis in my ankle, which I'd never heard of. And his main treatment for that was to stay off of it, don't walk on it. It's like, duh, okay. And then he went into a very graphic description of what tendonitis is, and then it can get, if it gets worse, it goes into tendinopathy, I think, and then that may require surgery. And it's like, no, we don't want to do that. But he said, right now we'll just go with staying off of it, and he did prescribe some anti-inflammatories that helped with the pain so much. But it's been about 7 weeks, and he said it would be 4 to 6 weeks, and I'm just thinking, well, with me, I'd take longer with a lot of stuff. So it's gotten a lot better. It's just I feel a little twinge when I walk now. So it's just annoying at this point because, you know, I want to get out and walk and exercise, because with this lockdown stuff going on, exercise, you know, my gym is closed, and so I need to do something, because I'm starting to get that, what is it, pandemic 15 or virus 15 or something. All this weight that people are talking about is coming to me. Anyway, and then I wasn't feeling well in other ways. I won't bore you with all the details, but basically I was suffering from lightheadedness and dizziness whenever I stood up, and feeling like I was going to pass out sometimes, and a little queasy stomach and a few other little things. So I went to my primary care doctor, and I have been making weekly visits and weekly blood donations to him. He's very thorough. He believes in testing, and more testing. And he's also one that starts really, I guess, low, you know, on the treatment scale. And it's like, first we do this, and if that doesn't work, we'll kick it up a little bit, and so on and so forth. And so, long story, quite not so long, I was diagnosed with dehydration and anemia. And so he said, well, drink lots of water, drink Pedialyte to get your fluids back up, because that's probably what's causing your lightheadedness. So Pedialyte is good for kids, but it tastes like crap for grown-ups. I did find some Pedialyte ice pops, which were better, but it has a metallic taste to it, but I chucked it down. I was the good little patient. So if you are you know, dehydrated or feel like you need more liquids, I recommend it. It comes in a lot of different flavors, but just don't expect it to taste like soda pop. um, and again, he's tested me for everything. I mean, I went in every week and he'd run a different test and, you know, take more blood. And so that's still kind of the gist of his diagnosis. So I go back in another 3 weeks now. I finally got him off of every week, and now it's a month. Excuse me. So there's that. So I really haven't felt like doing much other than stitching and watching TV. I did go the middle of June to donate blood. The American Red Cross has put out a call for blood donations because everybody's either sick or afraid to go out. And I have a rare blood type of A negative, which they are always interested in. So I went, and I was very impressed. They take lots of precautions. So if you're concerned about being around other people or being exposed to the virus or whatever, it's not going to happen there. You may, you know, come into contact with someone. They usually, the ones I went to are in hotel meeting rooms. So I don't see how you would be exposed to the virus, because you walk in and there's a receptionist person and they take your temperature and ask you these questions. Everybody is in masks. Everybody wears gloves. You are required to wear a mask. And then they take you over and do the usual blood donation screening. You can fill out a questionnaire online before you go, as far as, you know, how am I feeling today? Am I taking any medications? And then they ask you some questions, you know, have you been exposed to the virus? Have you been around anybody, et cetera, et cetera. And then they do a finger stick and test your blood for iron levels, which was really strange because it was okay, my iron level was okay to donate the blood. So anyway, but I did, and I strongly recommend, if you feel comfortable with blood donations, to do it. Go to the American Red Cross website, and I'm not sure what the exact link is, but I'm sure if you look around, you can find it. It takes like 30 minutes. If you've never donated blood before, it's not a bad experience. And at the end, you get bottled water and juice and cookies and crackers for free. So, and at least when I was there, they do a COVID-19 antibody test on your blood, and then you get your results about 30 days later. Or no, I got mine in about 2 weeks. And that just shows if I've ever been exposed to it or had it in the past. And fortunately for me, mine came back negative. Let's see, this has been kind of a medical month. I was looking back at my calendar, and I've been to the dentist for my 6-month checkup. I went and had a mammogram, and which they've got new equipment now, which so it's not quite as uncomfortable as it used to be. You know, used to it felt like the metal vise. Now it's more of a curved, I'm going to call it device, but part of it's curved, and so it's not quite, when it squishes you, it doesn't hurt as much. That's all I can say. And both these places, they were taking precautions, and so I felt comfortable going. And let's see, that's about it for the health part. And I did get out and go to a state park about 2 or 3 weeks ago. I'm in Texas, and the Texas state park system is awesome. I mean, they have, at last count, 91 state parks of all different sizes, shapes, facilities. And there's one that's about an hour outside of Dallas. I live in the Dallas area. I live actually in Plano, just north of there. And so it's, for me, it was about a little over an hour, but it's southeast of Dallas. It's called Curtis Creek State Park. And I just need to kind of get out of the house and away from the city for a little while. And it was awesome. It wasn't too hot. And they have a really pretty, what am I trying to say, picnic area with lots of trees and lots of shade. And then it's right by a lake, and they have a roped off swimming area, and there was actually a family in swimming. So I didn't go in, but I would do that if I went back. And then drove around the rest of the park. They have camping. mainly RV and tent camping. They don't have any cabins or screen shelters at that park. They have several hiking trails, but because of my tendonitis, I couldn't get out and try any of them. But it's a nice little park. If you're in the Dallas or East or North Texas area, I highly recommend it. The Texas State Park system now does require you to make a reservation online for either a day pass or for camping. So you can't just decide in the morning that you're going to go to a park and then show up at the gate like you used to. If you go online, you may be able to get in that day, but don't count on it because they do limit their capacity now because of the virus. And so you just, do everything online and print out the little pass and put it on your windshield. And I really enjoyed it. It was nice just to get out away from the city hustle and bustle. I mean, I live in the suburbs, so it's not like I'm downtown New York City, but just houses and buildings and my fence, fences all around the yards. And it was just nice to get out and see trees, and there were a couple of birds and, squirrels and different things. And then driving around the lake was really a lot of fun and really peaceful and relaxing and very enjoyable. So if you have a place like that, or look them up. If you're in Texas, state parks are all over the place. If you're not in Texas, I know for sure that Oklahoma and Arkansas have wonderful state parks. And the rest of the country probably does too, but even if like a city park, I've gone to a city park a few times just to rest and relax and get out from my house. Just anything getting out of my house with this pandemic thing is a treat. So, but I do recommend, if you're getting a little cabin fever, or, you're not allowed to go to work, you're not allowed to go here, you're not allowed to go there, check out a park. It's like the National Park Service has a commercial online and probably on TV about find your park. And, there's got to be some green space somewhere, and I strongly recommend it. However, if you do live in Texas, it is summer, and it's going to be hot for the next 6 weeks. So be careful, but take lots of water, take your sunscreen, wear a hat, just take some precautions, and you'll be fine. And if you like to go swimming, most of the parks that I've been to have a lake or a little swimming area, so you can do that. Okay, so I guess that's about it for this installment of the Lone Star Cross Stitcher. So I will bid you a fond farewell. As before, I do thank you for watching. I thank you for subscribing. And please feel free to comment if you have questions, comments, suggestions. I am open to, ideas on things. If you'd like to see something different, let me know. I am considering for my next video doing a whip parade, showing you all of my whips and maybe even my new starts, because I have quite a few of all of those. And then either that video or another one, I will take you on a little tour and show you my finished projects around the house. A lot of them are hanging up. I'd say probably a third of them are not hanging up because I haven't fully finished them yet, but I may do that and just give you a little tour and show you excuse me, what I have done in the past. Some of these go back to the early 90s, and some of them I just finished, a couple weeks ago. So if that's something you would like to see, please comment below. If that's something you don't want to see, comment below. I'm always open for constructive criticism. Anyway, I've rambled along. Oh, it's up to 45 minutes. I've rambled on, I think, long enough. So, again, thank you for watching, and please come back, and have a great day. Keep on stitching. Bye.